All right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on, everybody? I am James Oliver Jr., co-founder and CEO of Kabila and managing partner of Kabila Ventures. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited you are here. We have a treat for you today. Today, we will be helping three Atlanta founders. It turns out it's Atlanta founders. That was not the plan, I promise, for those who signed up and didn't get picked up. Sorry, just three Atlanta founders. We're going to help them level up their elevator pitches. And as I said, I'm James, co-founder of Kabila and managing partner of Kabila Ventures, which is a new fund launching soon. And if you're listening outside the sound of my voice, if you could drop in the comments and let us know where you are coming in from, and please share this on whatever platform you're viewing it on: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. Got a treat for y'all today, man. I got my good friend David Cohen, Techstars CEO, in the house. Hang on a second, let me get you up here, David. What's up, David?
Hey, James. How are you?
Doing great, man. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, David. I know you are crazy busy, and I also know that you have a passion for helping overlook founders. That's what we do. And with Kabila, oh, look at this. Here we go. We got folks chiming in. Charles, let's get these gems. You already know, baby. It was Gary. Gary. Hey, James. Hey, Gary. Delroy, what's up? Delroy, coming in from New York City. Let us know where you're coming in from, y'all. Mikhail. What's going on, Mikhail? From Alberta, Canada. That's what's up. Edmonton. And from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Welcome, 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 y'all. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate y'all so much. So we're going to dive right in, David. We got three really great founders. David's going to put his investor hat on, but he's kind of always wearing an investor hat, right? And he's going to give...
Often, yeah.
Often, exactly. Give founders some feedback on their pitches to improve their pitches. And our hope is that if you're listening, you could take some actionable, tips, take them away and improve your pitch as well. Again, please share this on social media. Hey, Tamara, good to see you. You know Tamara, David? Tamara went through Techstars Atlanta.
Hello.
Hello. And then we have Ellen. Hey, Ellen, how are you? Janai. Hey, Janai. Around the corner. That's right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm going to bring Christian up. So Christian, I need to press the button to bring her up there before I do that, right? There we go. So Christian is the CEO, founder of Happy Talks. Hey, Christian, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So let's go. Let's get right to it.
All right. You mean go. Okay, cool.
I mean, go.
Hi, my name is Christian Ross. I'm the founder and chief happiness officer at Happy Talks. And every day we deliver happy to grandmas and grandpas all over the US. At Happy Talks, we provide social phone call memberships so that seniors feel seen and feel heard. And we're also supporting families and care providers. With our social phone call memberships, we have 1, 2, and 3 calls per week. We talk to them so they feel seen and feel heard. And then we also provide, with our background check buddies, notes to the family members right after each call so they know exactly who their loved one talked to, and high-level notes on how they are doing and feeling. Our whole goal is to impact loneliness, which is associated with over $6.7 billion in cost with Medicare, as well as a $3.3 billion that's being taken from our elders every day. So join me on the fight to fight loneliness, as well as to help our seniors feel seen and heard at Happy Talks, and you can find us at happytalks.com.
Yes. What you think, Dave? He's shaking his head.
I think that's a pretty good elevator pitch. Nice and short, not 50 stories, maybe like 10, 12 stories in the elevator.
She got it in under 60 seconds too. Yeah. And just so everybody knows out there, some people are going to be like, whoa, how much are you raising? So we intentionally are not talking about raising funds because we don't want to get in any general solicitation SEC problems. But normally she would have said how much she's raising. And also, so this is a tip. David, tell me if you agree with this. When you are raising money and you tell people how much you're raising for, you should tell them you're raising to accomplish certain milestones, not to raise for 18 months. You agree with that or no, David?
People may ask how long your runway is going to be, and you can tell them, but I think you're leading with like, what am I going to accomplish on that money? Makes sense. But yeah, I had something in mind. We're not pitching here, right? There's no, not about pitching for money. Sorry, just had a little something in my eye there. My reaction to your pitch is it's really good. It's pretty easy to understand. Chief Happiness Officer does make me wonder if you're in charge or not. That's a thought that I had.
Yes.
right? So, normally I'm used to hearing CEO. So
CEO,
am I talking to a pitch person? Am I talking to a customer service person or the leader? That was a thought that went through my head. Um, I get that you said something like, we talk to them. So you're talking to the seniors. Is that a community you built that you're paying? I didn't quite get the business model, but that's okay, because that's a good first question that an investor can ask. How exactly does that work? How exactly is the service delivered? Those are good first questions that you want after an elevator pitch. The bad first question is, where are you from?
Yeah.
That means they don't really care about your business. So I think it was good in that it left that question for me. You don't have to tell me now unless you want to. And then I think maybe the only thing I would encourage you to think about adding is a little bit of credibility. What is it about you? What is it about your team that gives you a special insight, permission, some unfair advantage, right? Because as an investor listening to this, I get what it is. I get, who it's for. I don't really know why you are the perfect people to do it. And just a little bit of like, hey, when I worked at wherever, or when I, had this experience with my own grandparents, that goes a long way to show that you are connected to the problem. But overall, I thought this was really good, easy to understand, and gave me a good first question or two that I could ask.
Thank you.
So Mikhail wants to know, say, great pitch. Who is your target customer, please? The grandparents or their loved ones? Good question.
It is actually both. So it's the loved ones, it's the care providers. We're also working with care providers, and it's also those who realize they are experiencing loneliness. So that is the mix actually of our customer pool. And David, it is membership based. So it is, it's either 2, 3, or 4, 1, 2, or 3 calls per week.
I heard that, but I didn't know who was doing the call, if it was you and your staff, or if you had a community that you were leveraging to do that.
Yeah, so that is me and our staff.
Okay. So you've got to grow your team every time you get more, well, not every time, but as you get more customers. Have you ever thought about, having a community of people that would want to do this that might also be a little bit lonely, or is that not in scope of what you're thinking?
Yeah, that actually is. We've noticed more that we've been receiving inquiries of just, hey, how can we help? So we definitely have a waiting list of people for paid and unpaid opportunities.
Cool. Yeah, you probably pay them less than you would pay employees if they have another motivation.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
That's awesome. All right, Christian, thank you so much. Good job. Hey, everybody listening. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. You saw Mikhail's. We got to it. We'll do our best to get to all the questions and keep the comments coming. Last question from Mikhail. Will the platform plug into other health tech platforms to provide care if needed? Oh, that's an interesting question.
That is on our roadmap, and we are ready to do that. Yes.
Nice. Okay, cool. Everybody, if you could please share this with your followers on social media, we appreciate it. Great job, Christian. Appreciate you hanging out here. And next up is Reginald Mazanev, founder of Stance. What's up, Reg?
Hey, David, James. Well, it's going well. Thank you.
Let's get to it, buddy.
Hey, David. I'm Reg Mazanev, founder of Stance, a SaaS B2B2C fintech. Over 125 million people in the U.S. struggle with financial insecurity, overwhelmed by information and choices they face, not fully understanding their implications or how to get ahead. It's a problem existing products and services are not addressing. This represents a huge gap in the demand for suitable financial services and access to them, an $11 billion opportunity. Stance bridges this gap. Stance dynamically scores and visualizes consumer financial health, who or what is impacting it, and to what degree, giving users real-time, deep understanding of their financial health and how to get ahead, giving service providers new strategic capabilities to better serve them. Our revenue model is subscription-based, including affiliate marketing and commission-based partnerships. It's market-tested, technically validated, patented. We've received national and international recognition for our innovation. We've built an advanced MVP, and we're now actively building our consumer base and partner relationships. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. So there was a small cutout for me, but I think I got most of it. So is the customer who's subscribing to this the end consumer who is trying to improve their financial situation? And sounded like that was the end customer that would pay the subscription.
Yeah, we have a B2B2C model. We're starting off with direct to consumer, right? So that would be the case initially. But as we grow our member base, we see a very large opportunity working through affiliate partnerships, professional associations, employers, and the banking sector.
Yeah, that's the trick, right? Because if you have people without a lot of financial security that have a lot of disposable income, and this may be may or not be something that they're going to spend their money on, and so having partners, that was I kind of heard that in the beginning, B2B2C, but then I heard the consumers are paying for it, and so I guess my encouragement would be really test what you think the scale dynamic is, right? Because probably acquiring individual consumers is going to be expensive and time consuming. But if you can find a channel, right, that's going to help you get to these people and or cover it as a benefit of some kind, that could be a really powerful way to acquire customers. So a little bit of confusion in the pitch about the go-to-market strategy I kind of picked up on.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Overall high level, get what you're doing. It did take me maybe half of the minute or so to sort of get a little bit into what exactly is this. So eventually you said it gives them a dynamic score and helps them improve it. So I could start to visualize the product. Maybe bringing the why up to the front a little bit more, like what do these people benefit? What do they get out of it? Why are they doing this? I got there's a big market, financially insecure people, but what they really want is what? And we provide it to them. Maybe getting to that earlier, because otherwise I'm trying to catch up to what did I hear before. Now that I'm starting to understand what the product is, it creates a little problem with comprehension, I think.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Cool. Anybody have any questions or comments for Reg out in the audience? Feel free to drop them in. Oh, by the way, you had some kudos there, Christian, before you wrapped up. So wanted to make sure you got your props there. Christian is backstage.
While you're looking for that, maybe another thought is the same as the previous one. It's hard to do all this in an elevator ride that's short, right? But again, sort of the credibility, like who is Reg, right? Like how does Reg understand this problem? What is his background that gives him permission that sort of unfair advantage, unique view on the problem? Either he lived it, or someone he knows was affected by it, or he worked in this industry. I think those kind of things just said really quickly go a long way to like, oh, I'm talking to somebody that knows what they're talking about. They've lived in this world, right? So I think you can toss that in like, hey, as an investor in 4,500 companies, I think I'm pretty good at hearing elevator pitches and giving feedback. Like I can start with that kind of credibility. Simple little thing that helps people go, oh, okay, this is someone who really comes from this world, or what your connection is to it.
Okay, so
is there anything taken out or to make room for that?
Sorry, say that again.
Oh, is there anything that you would remove or away from?
I think it can be really quick. Like, I don't know what your answer to that would be. Like if I said, hey, like what, why you? What's your quick reaction to that?
Okay. So I've worked in developed and developing countries. I'm from Haiti, so the whole problem of economic mobility and in my consulting work, companies really understand and better serve their markets is an area I have a lot of experience in.
Experiencing problems, challenges with economic mobility myself, being from Haiti and working in big consultancies that work on that problem. Here's what I've learned. Like you just open that way. It's like, oh, okay, like this person not only is telling me what the problem is, but they're telling me what their background and experience and connection to the problem is. Because the famous Simon Sinek line, right, really applies. Like people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So, what is it that you've gone through in your life that, makes you motivated to solve this problem? The first two pitches were really hearing a lot about what, but not so much about who am I and why do I care? I think that's what people want to get connected to really quickly.
Yeah, Lindsay basically is saying the same thing. That's exactly what you just addressed right there, right? Like why? What's the story behind it? Why? So that's good point.
And it's hard because it's so short, right? But you find a way to just tease it with like a quick opening sentence about your connection to the problem. And then people might ask you more about that. And that's great. You can tell them more about that later.
Awesome. All right, ma'am. So I'm going to pull you down, Reg. Great job, buddy. Again, light up the comments. Yeah, of course, buddy. Light up the comments, y'all. Please share this with your followers on social media. Let's get some more people in this conversation, and so they could hear from Techstars CEO David Cohen. about how to improve the elevator pitches. I'm going to pull you down, Reg, and then we're going to bring up Seth Lytle. What up, Seth? Let's go, baby.
Hey, guys. All right. My name is Seth Lytle. Good evening. I am the CEO and founder of the company Vino Barrel from Atlanta, Georgia. There it is. And I want to ask you the question. Have you ever been out with friends, family on a date, and you're trying to celebrate a special moment with a glass of wine? Maybe it's something like this, and you have an empty glass, but the line is long and you're not getting it because you don't want to wait in that long line. Well, that's annoying. It's ruining the vibe, and we're here to solve that. My background at IBM is traveling the world, creating amazing experiences at conferences, and with a family history in wine, I brought together something that's great and new for the world. It's a barrel that delivers the most excellent glass of wine directly into your glass. I'm working with wineries from all over the place, Napa Valley, that's sending their wine through eco-friendly kegs, reusable stainless steel kegs. And our barrel system is an automated dispensing system that pours a glass of wine with the tap of a credit card and is delivering a chilled, preserved, and instantly aerated glass of wine, making that moment special and digitally connected. It's connected to the internet and provides a connection between the wineries and the consumer. Now, we've tested this in a few different places in Atlanta. There's a $70 billion market. We're seeing great success, and I'd love to find strategic partners to join us. Thank you.
I love it. I've used something like this. I'm trying to remember where I was, somewhere in Europe, and it was a restaurant. And you walk in and you had this and they had every type of wine. It was super cool, and you could just try this or try that. We only spent.
It's different. Well, go to my website. You can check it out.
Yeah.
But
we only spent 6 hours there, so it was really just a quick. So I have to tell you, like at the end, I get it. I wasn't really tracking when you told me let me ask you a question, and you've been sitting in a restaurant and you want a glass of wine, you can't get it. Yeah. It was very hard. I didn't know what the solution was yet.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, it's something that makes wine faster. But when you eventually said it pours a perfectly aerated glass of wine at the touch of a credit card and it's self-service, I was like, okay, it all connected for me. I would say what it is quite a bit earlier. And then, you can sort of ask the question, like, in a restaurant, you don't want to wait around for that. You want to be able to go, try different things and get that done quickly. And, it's too slow. It's too inconvenient. It doesn't connect you to the brand or the winery, but telling me what it is will help me picture that stuff. So I just probably flipped that order a little bit, because I was like wondering for a while, what is the actual product here? Once you told me, I was like, oh, I've used that before and it was awesome. Not maybe yours, but something like it, right? Maybe it was yours. And I think there's maybe something about the why that you're trying to weave in, which I think is really good. Like you had that problem, or you didn't want to wait for, that type of service. I think that's good. I think the other thing is the bigness of it. That's something I would say about all three of these pitches. You're throwing out like it's this big of a market or whatever, but intuitively, like every restaurant should do it this way. Every bar should do it this way. That's why it's a big market. I think people can understand that. So
Also,
I thought
if I may,
I just flip the order a little bit.
If I may, David. So, and I know this because I know you, Seth, and I've heard you pitch before. You didn't mention, because maybe you just didn't have time, that this actually saves the restaurants money and helps them reduces their waste, because you're preserving the wine in the bottle, so they're not throwing away as many empty bottles of wine because they've gone bad sitting around that little refrigerator or whatever, right?
Up to 80% profit margin, which typically it's around 55% in the market. And I was trying to appeal to a consumer audience as opposed to my client. So that's why I kind of went story with you. But great feedback.
Yeah, I think again, with investors, I would keep it on customer as the focus. Like, yeah, I can identify with the problem. I don't really perceive it as a problem. I perceive it, the first time I see it, as like a really cool thing that I like. Most people probably haven't seen something like this yet in the world, but I happen to have seen it once and had a really good experience with it. But I think when it comes to investors, they want to hear about the business, right? Like, every restaurant in the world, every bar in the world, right, could do it this way, and they would have better margins and this much less waste. And like, that's kind of the business model and the reason people will buy it, versus just like, it's better for you as a consumer, but same price. So who cares, right? Like, It's more like, why do I invest in this thing, and an investor audience? How is this big?
Yeah, it's for stadiums.
It is big.
Hotels, it's for cruise ships, and it's, you know, saves a lot of money, but also creates a digital way to connect brands with consumers, and that's great. We've poured over 3,000 glasses to Smiling Faces so far in the Atlanta market, and we're looking to expand into, you know, regionally and nationally, and we have a patent now. So
I think it's a really big idea and a big business. There are competitors right in the world.
Yep.
And I think you just need to emphasize that. I'm not questioning if it is. I think it obviously is. But if you're spending the first half helping me, you know, think about a story in a restaurant, I'm not thinking that way. I want the greed to come out right away. Like make it painful, like stick the knife in and then like turn the knife about how.
This is the only portable system that rolls into your establishment without having to rip out a wall and get the efficiency of the greatest way to deliver a glass of
Yeah, the
wine.
place I went had like 150 different bottles on offer at once.
Yeah.
And you just
Amazing.
walk up and swipe your card.
Familiar
Small,
with this.
medium, large glass. It was cool.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for the feedback.
Awesome. Good job, Seth. We appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm gonna pull you down here. Y'all hang out. So let me just change this to make that a little bit bigger there. So is it gratuitous for me to put this comment up, David? What do you think? I don't know.
I would say somewhat, but I'm okay with it. I feel
Okay.
the same way. Yeah.
You feel like you're the man, or you feel like I'm the man for doing it? You feel like you're the man for doing this, or I'm the man for doing this?
No, you are. I would heart that comment. Yeah, if I could.
Heart that thing up, people. All right, y'all. So if you have comments, like drop them in the comments. We'll get to them. So David, you have a hard stop at in 8 minutes.
Maybe more like 10, 15. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to just talk. I think you said you want to talk a little bit about what Techstars is doing in Atlanta. You want to get into that a little bit or no?
Sure. So I'm coming to Atlanta, since maybe you have an Atlanta centric audience. You claim you picked those three at random, of course, but you clearly picked them because you love Atlanta. I get it.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it, man.
No, I know you did. October 9th, I'll be there. We have a demo day. If anybody wants to come, I can try to get you a way in. I'm David at techstars.com. So just drop me a note.
Oh, snap. I cannot believe you just gave out your email. I was going to, here's what I was going to put up. Connect with David on LinkedIn.
You could do it on
He's like,
LinkedIn,
no.
or you could do it David at techstars.com, or you could send, smoke signals. Anything works, whatever. I'm reachable. If you can't find me, you're not trying. Right now, Dion ripped my line off at the University of Colorado football team. Ain't hard to find. I used to say that all the time. Now
Deion Sanders ripped off your line? Seriously?
No, he paraphrased me. That's all. He paraphrased me. But if you can't find me, you're not trying, right? So it's pretty easy. I'm happy to have people come on October 9th. I'll be there. We've invested in more than 100 companies in Atlanta, and of course about 4,500 globally. So it's one of the communities we've been investing in for a long time, and hoping to keep it going there for another decade. So that's the plan.
Awesome. So Lindsay said, this is such an awesome opportunity. Yes, it is. So please share this so some of your friends can watch. I appreciate you for tuning in, Lindsay. So in the last few minutes, I mean, you've told this story before. I've heard you tell it before, but I just think it's a really cool story. The Techstars co-founder origin story. Because I think there's some good lessons in that for people. You mind telling that story real quick, David?
All right. You draw the lessons out. I don't know what they are, but I'll tell you the story.
I will. Tell the story.
So let's see. I had been an entrepreneur. I started 3 companies before Techstars, and I had been angel investing. And I thought, man, this is a great way to turn a medium-sized fortune into a much smaller one. And I wasn't too happy with the idea of angel investing. I'd done 10, 12 deals, and it just didn't feel awesome to me. And I thought there's got to be a better way. So I wanted to create Techstars as a way to invest smarter at the earlier stage, get the community involved, have a reason that people would come and work with us, even though I was in this small town of Boulder, Colorado, where I live. Now we operate all over, but back then it was just, how do we get companies to come here? And I took a meeting with this guy named Brad Feld, who I'd never met. And he was offering 15-minute open office hours, and he would literally do them like once a month or every couple of months, just 15 minutes back to back to back to back all day long.
So, but at that point, what had Brad accomplished to make you want to go meet with him?
Brad had a blog that was super interesting about venture capital. He was a very well-known seed stage investor with Mobius, which was SoftBank money, and then with his own firm, Foundry Group.
He was already with Foundry Group at that time?
They were still Mobius at that time, which was SoftBank
Okay.
money, but just about to start Foundry Group. And just, had been an investor in all these amazing companies, Zynga and companies I'd heard of. And so I just reached out.
What about Fitbit? Had he reached invested in Fitbit at that
think
time?
that was a
Fitbit
little later.
IPO'd. So Fitbit IPO'd at that time?
I think that was a little later, but I could be wrong. This is
Okay.
about 2006 that this was going on. So
Okay.
about a while ago. And I didn't know him, but I was kind of scared of him because he's a venture capitalist. I had never met a venture capitalist before. I've been a bootstrap entrepreneur. I met some angel investors. I had been angel investing, but I thought, oh, big scary VC, and so I reached out to get on his list for office hours, and he threw me on a 15-minute slot 4 months later because he was full for the next 3 months. So it took me 4 months to get a 15-minute meeting. Went and took this meeting, and in the meeting, I slid a piece of paper that was folded in half across the table, and I said, here's a few bullet points. Just so you have it, I'm David Cohen. I've been an entrepreneur in the area. I've had a success, a failure, told him a quick story. So I'm thinking about starting this thing, Techstars, which would be an early stage investment program where we'd rally the community to support the most interesting startups, give them a little bit of money, a lot of mentorship, and do it for 3 months, see what happens. And, Brad was sort of like, I don't know you, just met you, but that's awesome.
That sounds just like Brad.
Yeah, what do you want from
Sounds
me?
just like him.
Weirdly, he was dressed in a suit, which he never does. I think he was raising money.
I cannot believe Brad was wearing a suit.
Well, the only suit I usually see him in is like the Cookie Monster suit, but he was in like a serious suit.
Wow.
And, he's like, I just met you. This sounds great. How can I help? And I was like, well, I think you should either invest in it. I'm investing my own money. You should invest with me, or, sponsor it, or just get involved. Like somehow, how do you want to be involved? And he's like, well, I'd like to invest in it alongside you, but I just met you. Let's work together a little bit. Let's do it offline. Send me the website, send me some information. I'm in for, I can't remember what he said, $25,000. As long as you're not a crook or a flake. I just met you, so I don't know. And I said, okay, got it. We worked together a bit, and he ended up not investing 25,000, but probably 100,000, something like that. And introducing me and David Brown, the other co-founder of mine, with another person that he called up, this guy named Jared Polis. And Jared was a really successful entrepreneur in Colorado, had built, amazing big businesses and had sold them, proflowers.com, if you've ever heard of that, several other big businesses. And Brad called him up and said, hey, Jared, I just met this guy, David. I'm investing in his company, and I think you should invest too. And Jared said, okay, I'll invest also. By the way, Brad,
because Brad called him.
Yeah. And he said, by the way, Brad, what is it? After he had said he would invest. And I realized, man, this is how networks work. This is like somebody that you trust says you should invest, and someone might just do that because they're doing it. Anyway, we got together, got the first program off the ground. I guess I wasn't a crook or a flake. And then, we got it going, and Brad became a co-founder. Jared became a co-founder with David Brown and I. And here we are 17 and a half years later.
Amazing. So I love, if anybody has any questions about that story, please drop them in the comments. We have a few extra minutes with David. I love that story because, one, you shot your shot, right? And then you had to wait 4 months for the meeting.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it takes that long to get a meeting with a person that could have a lot of impact. And, Brad was investing less than I was at first, but eventually, of course, he invested a lot more in our funds and became a board member and, very visible around Techstars and, written some of these books that you see, right, about Techstars and things like that. So I had no idea how big that relationship would be for me, where he would become one of my role models. But I had an intuition that he could really help. And he's the one that sort of pushed me to connect with the rest of the community really quickly and create a lot of credibility for what we were doing really quickly. But he also took a chance, and he was open to randomness, right? Like if he hadn't taken a random meeting with a random person he never met with no referral, he would never have been involved in Techstars.
yes, which takes me to my next takeaway is we have to leave room for serendipity. Like we like to try to control all the things, but like just leave room for serendipity because you never know what could happen. And like, so I'm friends with Brad, and I got I'm thankful to Brad because it's because of him that I ended up being such good friends with you. Because when I was on the Give First podcast, I was working on Parentpreneur Foundation. We were getting that going, and we went through the Techstars Foundation Accelerate Equity Program, and had me on the podcast. And Brad was like, "Look, I don't think I should be on the podcast because his foundation, Anchor Point Foundation, gave me the seed money to get Parentpreneur Foundation going." But he was like, "But since I've already, done that, I don't think I should be on the podcast. And plus, you don't really know David. Go be on the podcast with him and get to know David." And I feel like after that happened, like I feel like you're like a brother from another mother. You're like busting my balls all the time. It's fantastic. And I'm thankful.
You're so damn likable. That's the problem. I mean,
I'm so damn likable.
Who can not like you? You're just a nice guy.
I appreciate that. So I'm thankful to Brad for like teeing that up. And I talk to you more now than I talk to him, which is hilarious. So let's see. So Mikhail says he loves the story. That is a good story, right, Mikhail? I love that story. I wanted him to tell it. So we got some good comments here. So it's a great. That's incredible. It's so timely to hear. I'm a first-time founder, and those type of anecdotes are very important to learn from.
But maybe I could say one thing about it that'll hit home with y'all. I mean, I was, an entrepreneur that had success, and I was investing my own money, and I had, opportunity that other people may not, right? And that's why I love what you're doing with Kabila and Kabila Ventures, right? Is like there are so many people that are so talented that may not be networked or connected, yet. And I think what you're doing to find them is awesome, right? So I love supporting it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think the network, you hear people talk a lot about networks, and of course everybody needs financial capital, right? But I think social capital is arguably more important than financial capital because social capital leads to financial capital. And the problem with we working with these overlooked founders and everything I do with Kabila and Kabila Ventures, we oftentimes lack the social capital. So it's, and the other thing is you see me post, I posted last week, sponsorship is greater than mentorship. There's a lot of talk about get a mentor. And I tell the story, like mentors be like, "Hey, this is a great conference. You should go register and go to the conference," right? I'm like, well, I could have found it on the internet myself, but thanks. But sponsors be like, "Yo, there's a great conference coming up. I know the organizers. They have a slot on the speaking panel. I ping them about you. They're going to pay you $1,000 to come talk for 45 minutes. Email this person." Wait, what? That is the difference between a sponsor and a mentor. So please, y'all, get you a sponsor. Your thoughts, David?
Yeah, like I think I know like mentorship, of course, is valuable, but like it's much more valuable to have the connection to the right person or some dollars, right, committed to a thing you're doing to make it happen. And I think mentorship can lead to that, right? Like it's a relationship that can build over time.
It can. You have to build trust.
Yeah,
100%. But overlooked founders are over mentored and underfunded.
Yep.
So like, I think I did a podcast episode a while ago on parentsmakingprofits.com about how to turn mentorship relationships into sponsor relationships, because it's about building trust and it takes time. But ultimately you need to turn mentors into sponsors because again, folks are overlooked founders are over mentored and underfunded.
Yeah. But I think that's a super interesting topic. I would love to, there should be more content on that, I think.
What do you want to do?
Well, what I don't want people to hear is, well, you're offering to give me some advice, and so I don't want to engage with you because I really need the sponsor.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I don't want people to hear that, even though you're not saying it.
Okay. Well, thanks for clarifying, because that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I think teaching people that or helping them understand, like, how do these relationships actually evolve, right? Because I think that's the right word, evolve. And it's pretty rare that, someone's just going to jump in and do something,
that's right.
Means whipping out the checkbook, right?
Yeah. So you have thoughts about how these relationships can evolve? Because we can come back another time and have that conversation.
That whole cliche, if what you want is money, ask for advice. If what you want is advice, ask for money. Like there's something to that.
There is, but also I think it's about building trust, right? Like, even when you met Brad, he's like, "This sounds dope, but I don't know you." Like, bro, like, who are you? Wait, let me check you out a little bit. Right? Are you going to do what you say you're going to do? Right? He did the same thing. I already knew him a little bit because when I went through Generator. So those who don't know me, I went through Generator. I met Brad and David in Generator 2013. They went to Google Hangout. And then, so I recently went through Techstars Austin. So I'm a Techstars alum as well. But so when I started the Parentpreneur Foundation, which is, empowering Black parentpreneurs so they can leave a legacy for their beautiful Black children, I got that email from Brad because I was telling you guys, hey, I want to start a foundation. You're like, I'll go back and forth with you about over email, right? You're like, it's hard. I'm like, bro, like telling me something's hard simply doesn't land with me because at the end of the day, it's hard being Black some days. So I'm like, that means nothing to me. But I got an email out the blue after George Floyd was murdered from Brad, and it was just subject line, nobody in the text, because that's how real bad boys move, right? Game for a 30-minute Zoom from Brad Fell, right? I'm like, heck yeah. I'm like, but is there anything else I'm supposed to know? And he's like, and then nothing in the body of the email, bro. And I'm like, he's like, look, I want to know what 2 things you're working on to address racial injustice and inequality. No, what things you're working on to address racial injustice and inequality I could put my time, money, or attention toward. Right. So we get on this, Zoom, and I'm like, you remember that foundation I told you I was going to start a while ago? He said, yeah. I said, well, now it's just for Black people. He goes, I'm so glad you did that. and then he goes, so this is what I'm getting at when you guys said you worked on some stuff together to build trust, build rapport. He goes, what would a 12-month operating plan look like? Why don't you throw it up in a Google Doc and I'll co-create it with you. So I got that thing right back to him, right? He said, this is great. He said, what would a 6-month plan look like? Got that thing right back to him. This is awesome. He said, assume 3 things, one of which is a $50,000 grant for my foundation to get you started. And so I think this is a great lesson because I find it as a cheat code, especially if you're super early stage and you're like trying to raise some angel money. If you know people, angel investors, one of the things that I did is I reached out to a few angels. Hey, I'm working on this pitch deck because, we revised the business model after I went to Austin, right? It was revising the pitch deck and all that. I say, do you want to help me? I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Like, help me get your thoughts on this pitch. Like, help me shape this. And that's a cheat code because now they learn to trust you. You do what you say you're going to do. You execute. It's a cheat code to build trust and to get the sponsorship. Go ahead, buddy.
That third one, I think, is you execute. Like that's just, a lot of times, there's a lot of people in the world that say, I'm going to do something, or I have this idea, and it's very hard to process. Like who do you trust? Who do you, like, hey, great idea. That's not enough. Like we've learned in Techstars that great entrepreneurs actually do stuff, right? Even if they don't have resources, they do stuff. They try to create, they run through the brick wall. And those are the people that you want to back because that's what it takes, right? And so you're going to get homework from your mentors. You're going to get, this like, hey, let's collaborate on something because I don't have to commit yet. And when you do that and you execute well, right, and you turn it around and you listen and you give feedback to them and it's a two-way relationship, that's what builds the trust. I love it.
100%. That is a cheat code, yo. Like, please, like, write that down, do that. And like one of my favorite books is the book that you wrote, Do More Faster. Right? It's behind you. I can't see it because you got like green stuff back there. It's one of those books back there. It's a great book, y'all. It's old book. You guys have a new edition of that the last couple of years, I think.
Yeah, this is a special one, but it's Techstars
More Faster
for your startup. And I wrote it with Brad a long time ago, but it's got a lot of little nuggets in it.
We should write a book someday, David.
We should. I have lots of time to write books. I love writing books.
You don't have time for that.
I have ChatGPT, so I can do it. Yeah, anytime.
So Mikhail wants to know, did you tell Brad that you were already a founder and your background during that 15 minutes before he committed to you? Or did that come after you started working together?
Yeah, I had a little piece of paper and I folded it in half and I had a couple bullet points about what I had done. Started this company, sold this, had this company failed, made 6 angel investments. I'm in one angel investment with you. Named the company that we were I didn't know him, but I saw that he was a co-investor in that company. And then what my idea was, and it was literally bullet points, and we just talked about it. The other part of the story that I like to tell is the whole thing took 11 minutes. It was a 15-minute meeting, and I left 4 minutes early. And I think he appreciated that a lot because he was in back-to-back 15-minute meetings all day. So he actually got time to go get a drink of water or whatever. Right?
Oh man, that's another thing. If you can give people some time back, oh my God, you're like a superhero. Right. Yes. And I mean, as I posted this on LinkedIn yesterday, stop asking for an intro meeting for 30 minutes. Like that's a heavy ask if somebody doesn't know you, what the value you can deliver. Ask for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 12 minutes. right? And stick to it and give them some time back if you can.
Yeah. I got another one for you. Don't ask for coffee or lunch. It's a quick meeting, right? It's a small ask first, not a big, because a big coffee or lunch is kind of a big ask. I got to go somewhere that I might not already be. I'm an introvert. I got to sit with somebody I don't know. That's hard for me, right? But a quick Zoom meeting, like to get the gist of it, that's an easier thing to give.
Yeah, 100%. Toby, do you know Toby? Toby Morning?
Oh yeah. Hey, Toby. Of course.
So I met Toby at in Tulsa a couple weeks ago at the Black Venture Summit. What up, Toby?
Yeah,
Toby is my hero. Toby's a character, man. I love that guy. All right, y'all. This was amazing. I think we're about out of time here. I'm going to give you some of your time back, David. So I appreciate the comments, everyone. So it'll be a replay. I didn't even, join our Kabila community, right? If you're looking for a co-founder, you can go here. You're looking for a community of really great founders, join our community. I mean, like I told you, I'm launching a fund. We're going to be investing in founders in our community. Like, tap into that. We do these types of things in the community all the time. We made this public, but a lot of times we just do these things in the community, and we, help the founders in our community get more customers by demoing their products and helping them expand their social capital. David is at Techstars.com. He just told you to email him, and David's amazing with email. He does not suck at email, right? Which is amazing. So let's see. We got one last comment here. Can you get me into Venture Atlanta? Can you? No, I cannot. Sorry, bro.
I don't know what into it means, but we know who runs that, and we can connect.
Well, you could go down there and just hang out in the lobby. You don't have to go to the events and stuff. There'll be people down there networking. You can do that, Charles, as well. So, all right. So stand by, David, for like a second here. I'm going to run this outro video and then end the stream. And then I just want to thank you behind the scenes here, David. And we're going to get out of here. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Later.